Hi, my name is Ryan Kapitashare, and for the project I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make tamales. Everything you're going to need, we got 2 pounds of pork shoulder. You can either do pork butt, pork shoulder, doesn't matter, whatever's cheap, like we're broke. And then you're going to need a full onion, full garlic clove, corn husk, masa, chili pods, oregano, salt, pepper, lard, and then as well as you're going to need a strainer and a metal strainer, bowls to put everything in, as well as a blender and pots. We recorded the beginning of this earlier, but it didn't save. So this is what your pork is going to look like when it's done. Basically, you take your 2 pounds of pork, we cut it up just that way it would cook a little better. And then you take a full onion, we cut that into fourths, and put an entire clove of garlic in there. And then you just fill it up with water, make sure the water is 2 inches above the pork, and then you let it boil for 2 hours. After that, let it cool for a second, and then we'll drain it and then put it in a container, and then we'll shred the pork up. Right now we're boiling water for the chili pods. Basically, before you boil them, you're gonna want to deseed them, and all you do, they come with a stem on. Just open them up. And just shake all the seeds out. Sometimes you might have to like open it up like so, just to make sure everything's deseeded. And then once you deseed all of your chili pods, you're gonna throw them into that pot of boiling water for 5 minutes, and then once that's when they should be rehydrated. And once you throw your chili pods in the pot, you just stir with a fork and then just cover it. Next, you're gonna want your corn husk to basically soak up water. What you do, fill up a container with warm water. And you're basically going to want to separate all of them because sometimes they stick together, and just put in the water. Once you put the entire thing of corn husks, or as many as you're going to use in your container of water, you're going to want to put a heavier plate on it, just that way it stays down and you can make sure everything soaks up. After your chili pods boil for 5 minutes, I just let them cool for a little bit. You keep the water in there because you're going to use that in the blender. And then we use all the corn husks, but when we ended up needing 2 containers, and so just for this one we just use a coffee mug to hold it down. And then for the pork, what you do is just after you drain it, you put it in here and then just take 2 forks. It should be relatively soft, and you kind of just pull everything apart. You'll have some bone in here. We had a big piece, I already took it out. But it's literally just sitting here pulling everything apart, making sure it's shredded evenly. And then once you do that, you're gonna go ahead and season it. You can season it while it's in the pot while it's boiling, but a majority of your seasoning is gonna be when it's out in this. So once you shred up your pork, should look like this. And then after you shred it, you add your seasoning. I'm not going to tell you guys how much to add just because it's to taste. Just one thing to keep in mind, you're putting the pork inside the tamales, so the masa and your sauce is going to be seasoned as well. So you don't want to over season anything. And then next we're going to be putting the chili pods in the blender and making our sauce. When you're about to grind up your chili pods, add half a teaspoon of ground cumin, and then a teaspoon of salt. Just push that on. To cover all your pork, you're gonna need to add water throughout the blending process. You don't want it too watery. I'll show you at the end where you want it. But you're just gonna want to add water to it. Yeah. Okay. For the 2 pounds of pork that we had, figured this is about what we needed. What you're gonna do next is you're gonna put your strainer in a container and then just strain all the chunks of chilies out. Okay, and then once you stir it enough, it should look about this. Once you get to that, that should be good, and that's going to be what you're left with. And we'll add that to our pork. Okay, next for your masa, really quick, you actually don't need lard, or at least this recipe doesn't need lard. We accidentally got the instant masa, so it just takes water. But what you're going to need is 2 cups of the masa flour, and then 1.5 cups of water. Just get a fork and stir that. I should have done that before. Oh wait, I shouldn't use this, huh?
It's up to you.
I don't know, more too thick.
It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be relatively thick. Typically people use their hands, but you know, or if you have a mixer, you don't want it, yeah.
Oh, well, we're gonna use our hands for this, then. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry, it's been a while since I've washed my laundry, dude.
Okay. Do you want me to stop recording?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to record you doing this?
Yeah, come here. We'll just mute the volume. We'll play some music in the background.
Some KLPG.
We're muting it.
And you're probably gonna have to put make more and stuff, so just keep doing the... Can I stop it?
Alright, so once you have your masa made, you basically reserve half a cup of your chili sauce for the masa. Pour that in there. And then you're just going to mix it around. And then after this, we're going to basically pour the rest of the sauce into our pork, mix that around, and then we'll start making we'll take our corn husk out of the water that it's resting in, and then we'll start making our tamales. Okay, Now we're making our tamales. I've already made a majority of them. I just wanted to make sure I had it down before, you know, you guys made fun of me. Basically, just grab a ball of masa. I'll make it fun of how I said it. Basically, just spread it around evenly. And then grab yourself some meat. Then you're going to take this and roll it over. Just press it right there, that way it sticks. And then roll and tuck. And that's what your tamales should look like. Now we're going to be boiling. Oh, I'm sorry, not boiling, steaming. The tamales. If you guys have a steamer, great. If not, like us, you can also use aluminum foil. What you do is you basically take 3 squares of aluminum foil and roll it into into equal size balls, and then place them in a triangle. And you're gonna put a plate that doesn't get that won't crack under heat, and basically just set it on top like so. And then just fill up your pot with water. Just make sure the water does not go past the plate. And then after that, you're going to steam it. Yeah. Alright. After steaming your tamales for about an hour, pull them out. Basically just unwrap them from the husk and enjoy your tamales.